Welcome back, Down the Boots. Down the Boots Loop. So today, for a couple of reasons, I'm actually going to keep this super short. So the first reason is yet another week where I have not had adequate time to plan. It's becoming a habit. It's terrible, I know. My unit will be heading to the field for the next couple of weeks, give or take. So I may or may not have the opportunity to do a full-scale service and upload it. I will try. I'll make every effort that I can to do so. But I make no guarantees. So that's reason one. Reason two, unfortunately, the only time that we had available to do the Spiritual Fitness Challenge sign-up. And for those of you who are in the Fort Bliss area, by all means, please do get me those sign-ups. If you need more information, I'm more than happy to provide that. But do please sign up if you're in the Fort Bliss area. But in order to do that, I have to have a sign-up meeting and kind of explain what we're doing, give people a chance to actually sign up, and then give them the safety brief. So that is going to take place at 18:30, and I got to get out of here in order to make that happen. So that said, we'll keep this short, we'll keep this simple. Yeah. So the topic that I want to go over today is a whole lot more uplifting than the last couple of weeks have been. One, because I didn't want to do anything terribly deep at this point. And two, because sometimes it's better to just go over the basics. Sometimes you just need a simple reminder here and there. Right, so what I'm going to be talking about is I'm going to be reading from two different scriptures. One is the wheel-turning monarch or the wheel-turning king scripture, again. And the other one comes from the Ambuddha Nikaya, so it should be fun. And we're just going to go over the precepts, the 5 basic precepts, right? I realize that in different schools, some parts of the Chan tradition will have 8 or 10, depending on the occasion. And monks and nuns across the Buddhist world have 226, give or take, plus or minus the 8 heavy rules for nuns. But for us, for most of the community, for the laity, for those who are not actively monks and nuns, the only ones that the Buddha required were 5. 5 total precepts. And we chant them every single time we do the chanting, right? I probably should have done the chanting as a part of this video. I may yet do that one later on tonight. But for now, let's go over the 2 portions. So, as you'll probably remember from the last time we talked about the wheel-turning monarch scripture, the Chakravarti Sikhananda Sutta, we have essentially the instructions that the king, aka Buddha, is giving to the next ruler so that their lives may be good, so that they may rule properly, so that they may rule according to the Dhamma, right? So here we have the tale, or we have a little bit of that, where we watch as this monarch, who we've just heard how he's supposed to behave, we watch what he does, right? And we get to see that in action, so that's good times. And then I get to talk about the 5 gifts, as the Buddha is describing them, which are, of course, the precepts, right? So, and for those who have a copy of In the Buddha's Words, this is on 140 and 141. We're starting off, and then the next one will be 173. Yeah. So, specifically on 141, it's marked as number 6. Then, rising from his seat, covering one shoulder with his robe, the king, the new king, took a gold vessel in his left hand, sprinkled the wheel with his right hand, and said, "May the noble wheel treasure turn. May the noble wheel treasure conquer." The wheel turned to the east, and the king followed it with his 4-fold army. And in whatever country the wheel stopped, the king took up residence with his 4-fold army. And those who opposed him in the eastern region came and said, "Come, your majesty, welcome. We are yours, your majesty. Rule us, your majesty." And the king said, here we are with the 5 precepts, kind of as instructions. Do not take life. Do not take what is not given. Do not commit sexual misconduct. Do not tell lies. Do not drink intoxicating drinks. Enjoy your possessions as before. And those who had opposed him in the eastern region became his subjects, because if those are the only orders that your leader is giving you, how hard is that? He's being a great guy, and you've got it. You've got it made. All you got to do is 5 simple things, and you got to enjoy all your stuff, right? He's not going to take your stuff. Sounds like a good deal to me, right? Then the wheel turns south, west, and north, same as before. Then the wheel treasure, having conquered the lands from sea to sea, returned to the royal capital and stopped before the king's palace as he was trying a case, as if to adorn the royal palace. So, by living by the Dharma, we get to see that can actually, living by the Dharma can actually conquer all kinds of stuff. Now, do we have to take this as like we must go out and conquer the world with Buddhism? No. Are we all righteous, wheel-turning monarchs? No, we're not. So, yeah. But the instructions that the Buddha, the wheel-turning monarch, the wheel-turning leader, and the righteous leader says, those are simple, right? Yeah, I realize it's kind of an imposition from the leader to the subject, saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But at the same time, he's making it super easy, right? It's not giving hard, challenging, you must do this, right? It's more instructions than they really are commands. So, there's that one. We'll move right along on to 173, again, if you have In the Buddha's Words, which, again, I recommend you get. It's a good book. It's a very well-written translation of most of the Theravada side of the house in short form, right? So it's short versions thereof. But we're going to look starting on 173, about 2, 3 full paragraphs down, right? So there are further amongst these 5 gifts, pristine, of long standing, traditional, ancient, unadulterated, and never before adulterated, that are not being adulterated and that will not be adulterated, not despised by wise ascetics and brahmanas. What are these 5 gifts? Here, monks, a noble disciple gives up the destruction of life and abstains from it. By abstaining from the destruction of life, the noble disciple gives to immeasurable beings freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. By giving to immeasurable beings freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression, he himself will enjoy immeasurable freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. This is the first of those great gifts, and the 4th stream of merit. The first 3, of course, being Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Further, monks, a noble disciple gives up the taking of what is not given and abstains from it. By abstaining from taking what is not given, the noble disciple gives to immeasurable beings freedom from fear, and so on. I'm just going to go with each of the precepts because the Buddha's justification and his whole thing is you're repeating this time and time again so you remember it, right? We have books. We don't need to remember stuff, theoretically. We do, but we don't. Further, monks, a noble disciple gives up sexual misconduct and abstains from it. Further, monks, a noble disciple gives up false speech and abstains from it. Further, monks, a noble disciple gives up wines, liquors, and intoxicants, the basis for negligence, and abstains from them. By abstaining from wines, liquors, and intoxicants, the noble disciple gives to immeasurable beings freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. Right? These monks are the 8 streams of merit. So the 8 streams of merit, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, 5 precepts. Right? 8 in total. Why do we follow these? What measure or what result do we hope to possess from these, right? So the reason I'm going to list these is because these 8 streams of merit, I'm actually moving a little bit back up to page 172 for those who are following along. There are amongst 8 streams of merit, streams of the wholesome, nourishments of happiness that are heavenly, ripening in happiness, conducive to heaven, and that lead to whatever is wished for, loved, and agreeable, to one's welfare and happiness. Sounds like some good stuff, right? I mean, I want happiness. I think most people would probably say, when asked, do you want happiness? Most people would say, yeah, I want happiness. This is what leads it. This is what leads to it, right? And again, these aren't super hard. They're not challenging. They're very simple. They're very basic, right? So don't destroy life. And usually these are translated into the vows, that we chant every single service. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and chant them now, right? Note that as I translate them, or as I chant them, the translation that I'm using is that they refrain from. And I will be making sure that for those of you who don't have a copy of the order of service, I provide a copy of that so that you guys can follow along at your leisure, right? But for now, for this service, expecting the comments that I'm going to put both the translation and the original, so you can start chanting them of your own accord, right? Because these are easy things that we can do, that we need to remember, that we can practice, that we should be doing, right? These are vows that we as Buddhists take, right? So, to chant them simply, we'll start off with, I vow to refrain from the destruction of life. Anati pati viramani ska param samadhyami. Right? To refrain from taking what is not given. Adinna dana viramani ska param samadhyami. To refrain from, we'll call it, to abstain from or refrain from sexual misconduct. Musavada viramani ska. Oh, that was good. Kamesu michachara viramani ska param samadhyami. I was getting ahead of myself there. The fourth one, to refrain from lying or false speech. Musavada viramani ska param samadhyami. And the fifth one, to refrain from intoxicants or becoming intoxicated. Suramiraya majja kamadattana viramani ska param samadhyami. Now, for those of you who are somewhat more etymologically inclined, we do believe that there is a link between the term veramani and things like verify. We think that there is an etymological link somewhere back in the Proto-Indo-European chain, somewhere. I just don't remember exactly what that is offhand. But we do believe that that is what is being said. So I verify, you could almost say, that I will not do this, or that I will refrain from this, right? That's where that comes from. So, that was really all that I wanted to go over. Remember to keep practicing. Keep practicing. because the teaching is simple. It's really not all that hard, right? We can do this, we can practice, we can make this happen. So let's do so. And I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for watching and participating. Download it so